I bought a bar in October 2020. This video was taken on our grand opening day, October 17th, 2020. This was before the food trucks we had scheduled to show up came, and the cold and the snow actually ended up keeping everybody home, unfortunately. So we did pretty well that night for a normal night, but I know the two food trucks that did show up were disappointed in their sales. They had been pretty excited, and we all agreed that had it not been snowing, they'd have made a little bit more money. But just kind of showing the inside of the bar here, what some of the accessories are, some of the posters and pictures and artwork and things like that that the former owner had assembled and hung on the wall. We're going to be adding some TVs into the bar here soon, and doing some construction in this back room, which I'm going to show you here in a moment. This picture here above the jukebox is myself. I'm the fat ugly guy, and then Bernie. She's the very petite woman in that photo. Her and I get along really well. She still lives in the apartment above the bar, and will for the foreseeable future. This brings us back into a back room that was put in about 35 years or so ago, maybe 40 years ago. It's not insulated, the walls anyway. Those cinder blocks are hollow, and so it doesn't do a very good job of keeping the cold out. Not only that, this room echoes horribly, and it's cold, it's dimly lit, and alright, work in the bar continues. We're using 2x4 studs to fur the walls in here out 1.5 inches. And then we're using this Owens Corning foam insulation, which is 1.5 inches. For those that don't know, the 2x4s are actually 1.5 inches nominal thickness. So they match up with the 1.5 inch Owens Corning insulation. And this room, even though it's 10 degrees outside here right now, this room feels notably warmer, even though this isn't done. Jim must have come up here and done some work, because he's done more since I was here earlier. There's a lot less insulation back here. But you can see here, this is gonna be a future TV. There'll be an AC outlet up there. And then back in this corner, I got a TV up there and another TV here. So those will hang on the wall. You got the TV here ready to go. And then we're gonna insulate up at the top. Sheetrock will go all the way up to the top. And then we've got 1x6 or 2x6 maybe for the mop board around the base. So there'll be a gap in the sheetrock at the bottom, but the sheetrock's going to actually sit on top of that 1x6, or the 2x6 rather. So we're trying to figure out what this is. There's a chase there that's very, very cold. We don't know. That's old building. This is new building. New is relative. New is 30 years. The building over here is over 100 years old. And then I was going to go and get some pricing to put up some suspended ceiling here. Basically come to right above the, don't focus on me, right above that air conditioner. And then just do suspended ceiling just for the, 8 inches or whatever from the top here. And put that, they have a fiberglass style. There's really no structure to them. They wouldn't support anything, but it adds both some insulation up there, even though there's insulation in the ceiling here, but it also adds some sound deadening. So we narrow down some of the echo. The echo you're hearing now is far less than it was when we first did our first video. And then I'm also thinking about putting some commercial carpeting in here. So I need to go and get that spec'd out too. So Jim's made a lot of work. He must have come back in and just hammered away at this stuff for a while. But yeah, we're gonna not frame this back in. This actually ended up coming out in pieces. And instead we're gonna actually frame out a wall right here and here, put a little bifold door here, and where that Foster's sign is, we're gonna move those light switches and that thermostat, and then this will actually end up being our new mop closet. And that'll bring that wall out even with the wall where that Corona Extra is. Honestly, there's probably 2 feet there, you know, from here to here. That's all we need for a mop closet. And then the space underneath this heater we can use for the pool cues. We got that little candy machine, and I'm sure we can throw something else in here just to make it nice. And then yeah, put a pad and some carpeting down in here. Should be good to go. It's going to be a big difference in here. We're going to do a burgundy kind of a paint with blue trim. Possibly like a blue stripe just down the middle of the wall where you'd have your chair rail maybe. And then new LED lights. And I got to figure out the suspended ceiling, so I could either take these back, the ones I've got, or do something else. But our boiler keeps going out. The pilot won't stay lit. If I cut the breaker off and give it a minute to rest and turn it back on, it's okay. So I don't know if there's a circuit breaker, but the boiler feeds this guy up here and my apartment upstairs. I've got a tenant up there. The former owner actually lives up there still. And so when I got here today, it was only 57 degrees inside the bar. And it's tripped, or the heat has turned off twice since we've been here. It's not tripping a breaker, but we've discovered that if we turn the breaker off, give it a minute, turn the breaker back on, the pilot relights. So I got a HVAC contractor here. And because it's a holiday all of a sudden, it's going to be $180 an hour. And they're probably going to drive from Grand Rapids, which is 35 minutes away. So it's a 90-minute drive one way, $180 drive 2 ways, plus however long it takes them to fix our problem. Here's the stairs I rebuilt. They're not perfect. The platform here is only 5 feet below that caution tape, but it gives our vendors with dollies and their our kegs and whatnot a spot to turn around, and it is on top of and covers this replacement sewer line that went to hell. So not perfect, not great, but they are level now. They weren't level before, and they got this cool little glow strip on them. Actually works pretty well, and you can kind of see it. But yeah, it's alright. Alright, I will have another update here in a few days.